The King of Zion, a biblical story of hope and glory. In ancient times, among the rocky hills of Judah, there stood a stronghold called Zion, a hill in Jerusalem, small in size but immense in destiny. Over centuries, it would become the symbol of God's dwelling, the heart of his covenant people, and the throne of a divine king. Part 1. David, the earthly king of Zion. The first earthly king to truly reign from Zion was David, the shepherd-turned-warrior whom God called a man after my own heart, 1 Samuel 13:14. After years of exile and struggle, David captured Jerusalem from the Jebusites and established it as his capital. Nevertheless, David captured the fortress of Zion, the city of David. 2 Samuel 5:7. From there, David ruled Israel with justice and devotion. He brought the Ark of the Covenant to Jerusalem, dancing with joy before the Lord, and dreamed of building a temple, a permanent house for God's presence. Though God did not permit David to build the temple, he gave him a greater promise. I will raise up your offspring, and I will establish the throne of his kingdom forever. 2 Samuel 7:12-13. This covenant marked the beginning of a deeper mystery. The King of Zion would not only be a human monarch, he would be eternal. Part 2. Zion as a prophetic symbol. As centuries passed, earthly kings fell short of God's glory. Jerusalem itself turned from righteousness, and Zion, once the joy of all the earth, became a city under judgment. But through prophets like Isaiah, Zechariah, and Micah, God kept the hope of Zion alive. He spoke of a coming king, a Messiah, who would restore justice, bring peace, and reign from Zion forever. The Lord has installed his king on Zion, my holy mountain. Psalm 2:6. Rejoice greatly, daughter Zion. See, your king comes to you, righteous and victorious, lowly and riding on a donkey. Zechariah 9:9. This king would bring salvation, not through conquest, but through humility. Part 3. Jesus, the true and eternal King of Zion. Hundreds of years later, in the days of Roman occupation, the longing for Zion's king reached its peak. And then came Jesus of Nazareth, and born in Bethlehem of David's royal line. He healed the sick, fed the hungry, and taught with unmatched authority. On one unforgettable day, Jesus entered Jerusalem riding on a donkey, fulfilling Zechariah's prophecy exactly. Hosanna! Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. Blessed is the King of Israel. John 12:13. Yet his coronation would not come with golden crowns or thrones, but with thorns and a cross. Atop Mount Zion, the king was rejected by his people and crucified. But in that moment of seeming defeat, he accomplished his greatest victory, defeating sin and death itself. Part 4. Zion in heaven and the church today. The resurrection of Jesus marked the beginning of his eternal reign. The New Testament describes him as the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Revelation 19:16. And the writer of Hebrews paints a breathtaking picture of Zion for believers. But you have come to Mount Zion, to the city of the living God, the heavenly Jerusalem. Hebrews 12:22. Zion is no longer just a hill in Jerusalem. It is a symbol of the heavenly kingdom and the church, where Christ reigns as king in the hearts of his people. One day, the Bible says, this king will return to establish a new heaven and a new earth, and the new Jerusalem will descend like a bride prepared for her husband. Revelation 21. Final reflection. The story of the King of Zion is not just a history of Israel. It is the eternal hope of the world. From David's humble throne to Christ's heavenly reign, God has been preparing a kingdom of peace, justice, and glory. This king is not distant, he is near. He rides in humility, rules with righteousness, and invites all to become citizens of Zion, saying, "Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." Matthew 11:28.